Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where I'm going to inspire and motivate you to show up for yourself. This week, I am loving a new book that I received from my best friend, and the name of the book is The Divine Law of Compensation by Marianne Williamson. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I was over at my best friend's house a few days ago, and I was sharing with her how I have been checking the book out from the library and I really wanted to own my own copy. And then, y'all, I came home yesterday and I had an Amazon package. And I'm like, I didn't order anything from Amazon. And so I opened it up and I'm like, oh my goodness, who sent me this? Because it wasn't like a note or anything inside. And so I text her and I said, did you send me a book? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And that was so sweet and so meaningful because what I was sharing is that I have been checking the book out at the library and hadn't purchased it on my own, but I really wanted to because I really like to highlight sections in the book. I like to write in the margins, and obviously, I can't do that with a library book. So, for her to take the time to order a book that we had talked about that I really wanted, and then to get it in the mail was just so super sweet. So, that is what I'm loving this week, and I will link the book in the show notes in case you want to check it out. Next up is my listener review. And this week I am highlighting a young lady on Twitter. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback there. And her name or her handle is underscore Risa Love. And she says, the Girl Be Free podcast is absolutely amazing. I seriously learn something new about myself every single time I listen to an episode. Every woman should give it a chance. It's so worth it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That means a lot. I had logged onto Twitter, I believe last week, and then saw that notification. I'm like, oh my goodness, this means so much. I have to shout her out on the podcast. So, Risa Love, thank you again. And don't forget, you can leave your 5-star review and your comment on Apple Podcasts. And then feel free to leave a review or tag me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and you can share your review or your comment there, and I will also shout you out on the podcast. Thank you in advance. All right, on to today's topic, which is the real cost of being stuck. And I want you to get your notebooks out, get your pens out, because I'm going to be sharing a lot that I know you're going to want to reflect on later. So, when you think about investing in yourself, specifically when it comes to personal development, so often I hear people say, I don't have the time or I don't have the money. And let me first clarify what I mean by personal development or personal growth. They both work in the same. But what I'm saying is that all areas of your life, so physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, spiritual health, all of that, like how are you growing personally? And what I know for sure when it relates to me is that personal development is one of, if not my highest value. So I take it very seriously and I'm always working on some area of my life. And so I value it a lot. And I started my journey, and I've shared this plenty of times back in 2011, 2012. And I have been going hard with trying to grow in every area of my life. And it's why I go to therapy. It's why I work with the coach. It's why I have accountability partners and mentors. I go to the gym. Like I'm doing all the things so that I can be better overall. So the first thing I hear people say, like I mentioned, is that they don't have the time and they don't have the money. Let me give you an example. So when it comes to working out, I don't have time to work out. So they think about their schedule and everything that they have going on and they say, oh, I don't have time for working out. Or they'll say, I don't have the money to hire a coach. However, my thing is if you're 100% honest with yourself, if you looked at your schedule and you looked at your budget and if it was important to you, you would make a way. So it's easy to say, I don't have the money or I don't have the time because you haven't prioritized the things that are important to you. This past weekend, I taught a workshop in the Be Free Inner Circle for the members called 7 Ways to Get Your Mind Right in the New Year. And one of the things that came up is because someone had mentioned, you know, struggling with certain things in their life. And what I said is that people love to say that they don't have money for things, but that's not the real issue. That is more so making an excuse as to why you're not doing something. Because if I came in and I said, you know what, I'm going to give you $500 to invest in yourself when it comes to coaching, would you take that money and use it for a coach, or would you use that money for something else? 9 times out of 10, you would find something else to do with that money, even though you've been saying for a long time that you wanted to work with a coach or a mentor, or you needed someone to hold you accountable. Even if the money was given to you, more than likely you would not use it in that way because it's not a priority. And you would find something else to use that money for. The same thing is if someone said, I'm going to come over your house and watch your kids for you for a few hours so that you can work on your goals. Can you honestly say that yes, you would take that time, let's just say an hour or two, and work on your goals and your dreams, or even the things that you've been putting off? Would you really carve out time for those things, or would you use that time and just waste it? The reason that I'm saying that being stuck is costing you is because often people don't have their priorities straight. And so, because you don't have your priorities together, being stuck is actually costing you more than you're really thinking. And I'm going to share how. It's costing your clarity, your mental and emotional health. It's costing you money. It's costing you your quality of life, inner joy, and freedom. And the reason that I can say that it's costing you is because instead of doing the inner work and focusing on your personal growth, many people tend to self-medicate or soothe themselves through shopping addictions, food addictions, alcohol, toxic relationships. And then this will lead to creating bad habits, poor finances, poor health, and really wasting a lot of time. Being stuck is really costing you because whether you make a choice or not, it's still a choice. And you're missing out on having a quality of life, mental clarity, peace of mind, freedom, joy, happiness, healthy relationships. This time that you're wasting, you can never get it back. Like you can always make more money, but you can never get back your time. And if you think about being stuck, it's when you feel so unfulfilled, you feel so unhappy, you feel like you're not moving and you're just existing and going through life, but not really truly living. Think of it like this. You know how when you're on your computer, and if you're like me, you have a million tabs open at one time? Well, what happens when you have too many tabs open? Your computer is running much slower, right? It's more prone to crash. You're using way too many resources at one time, and it's not beneficial. You can apply this to your life. And if you think about having too many things going on at one time, it's causing you to feel burned out, overwhelmed, you're moving slower, and you're not really getting anything done because you're not doing the inner work. And that means you cannot grow. I received an email from someone recently, and she was saying how she really wanted to work on herself and she wanted to work with me, but she had to get her money together. And she shared how she felt stuck, and she's been feeling stuck for years. And she's tried things like reading books and going to a couple of classes here and there, but nothing was really working. And so what I shared with her is that when something is important to you, you will find a way to get it done. And if it's not, you won't. It's just that simple. I also expressed to her that if it was really important for her to change her life and make positive changes, she would start to put herself first and make her needs a priority. And at this point, based on what she was sharing, she wasn't tired enough. She wasn't fed up enough. When you get tired of being tired, you're going to make some changes. I've shared in previous episodes that I got to a point in my life where I felt very stuck, and it was such a nagging feeling, and it made me very unhappy. And now that I'm on the other side of that and I feel very free in the way that I'm moving through my life, and I am literally working on every area of my life, trying to continuously grow. And that's not just for me, but just to make an impact in the lives around me as well. Because as I grow and I learn and do all these different things, I'm now able to share that information to help the next person. Let me say this, coaching isn't expensive. It's not an expense. Coaching is an investment because you're going to learn how to grow, how to become your best self. You're going to gain clarity and you're going to get the accountability you need to get stuff done instead of starting and stopping all over and over again. And so with the young lady that emailed me, I needed her to understand that being stuck is actually costing her years of her life. And again, that's time she can never get back. So when you're stuck, you're unable to make healthy and intentional decisions. You don't feel good about the choices that you're making. You feel unfulfilled. You feel lost. You feel empty. You feel like there's something missing in your life. And now what will happen is that as you stay in this stuck and stagnant place, it's disrupting your quality of life. It actually affects every single area. So just think about this, how you respond and communicate with your family. Because you're not responding or communicating effectively, you end up being a people pleaser. You lack setting healthy boundaries. You're always stressed and overwhelmed. You have poor communication skills, right? And then this can also show up in your work where you're not feeling motivated at your job. You feel like you're at a dead end and it's literally sucking the life out of you. And then you're not doing work that you're passionate about, so you feel like you're in a funk. Getting unstuck can save you your life and help you start to live better. So that way you can start to set an example to everyone that you're connected to. I've said this before that being stuck is not cute. It's not okay. And as long as you're following Be Free Project and listening to the Girl Be Free podcast, my hope is that something that I'm sharing with you, that you're not just listening for an emotional high or to check in week after week, but you're actually doing something, that your life is better as a result of listening to this podcast, that you're taking notes and you're identifying, okay, what areas of my life am I unhappy with and what am I going to do about it? So if you're if you're unhappy and you feel stuck and stagnant and you need clarity and you need to figure out how do you start to reach your goals in your personal, your business life, hire a coach like myself that can help you work through that. If you're unhappy with your weight and you feel like you cannot make healthy choices when it comes to your eating habits, hire a nutritionist, right? When it comes to your spirituality and you need a prayer partner or someone to be in your corner to help you in that area, find an accountability partner. I mean, whatever area of your life that you feel stuck or you feel like something is lacking, find someone who is ahead of you, who you admire, who you feel like you can learn from, and partner with them so that way your 2019 will not look like the previous years. That this year, this season of your life will look better because you're doing the work. And this is one of the things that I'm so proud of the clients that I'm working with, because especially the last couple of clients, because I seen where they were in the beginning, where there was no motivation or they just didn't have clarity, and now they're doing the work and I've literally watched their lives transformed since we've been working together. You're probably saying, Siobhan, where do I start? What I'm going to say is quite simple. You probably heard it before, but you haven't put it into practice. And where do you start? You stop making excuses, period. Stop blaming other people. Stop saying, I don't have enough money. I don't have the time. Figure it out, right? Figure out what you need in order to change your life. Invest in yourself. Whatever area of your life that you're looking to change and to grow personally, invest in it. It may take up time. It may be an investment with your money, but are you worth it? Or are you worth being stuck? So I've already created a resource for you, which is called 101 Plus Resource Guide. Every woman needs to change her life. In that guide, you're going to find books, podcasts, websites, music, everything that you need to get started. You can download it today by clicking the link in the show notes. And then the next thing is hire a coach or find an accountability partner. I am open. I am taking new clients on. I have a couple of different ways that you can work with me private, one-on-one. I have my Clarity Power Sessions, which is a 1-month coaching program. And then I also have longer programs if you need more time to work with me. With my coaching, what I do is I help you gain clarity. I help you create self-care practices and rituals. I teach you how to move forward by giving you actionable, practical steps that you can take and really teach you what it means to cultivate the life you desire on your own terms. So I'll leave the link to my coaching programs in the show notes and you can take a look at it. Your action step for this week, I want you to write and journal about this. Are you really living the life you want, or are you just existing in it? And if you do feel like you're living the life you want, how are you doing that? What are some of the ways that you're doing that? And if you feel like you're just existing, what are you going to do about it? Okay? Next, dope women doing dope things. This week, I'm highlighting my friend B Fails, aka Brittany. She just recently started her IGTV show, and she's talking all about branding and marketing yourself. And so she's dope. Her videos, her IG stories are everything, right? So you totally need to check her out. You can follow her at Branding Bestie for all of your branding needs. And trust me, you will be entertained and informed. She releases a new episode every Friday. So definitely take a look at what she has going on. Again, you can find her on Instagram at Branding Bestie. I will link to her in the show notes. A few reminders. I send out newsletters every week. I don't think I talk about that on here, but I send out newsletters every week. And so if you want to join my newsletter list, the link is always in the show notes. It's called the Girl Be Free Notes. Also, we have a couple of things happening in the Be Free Inner Circle. Our next workshop is coming up on February 23rd, which is all about protecting your energy. And I'm actually going to have a co-host, Denise, who is going to teach that workshop with me in the Be Free Inner Circle. And then we have our book chat coming up, which is the book Becoming by Michelle Obama. We'll be discussing that on March 9th. Linda Mallory and I will be co-hosting that. If you've been thinking about joining the Be Free Inner Circle, which is a global online community of positive, like-minded women who are learning what it means to really show up for themselves, it's perfect because what I do every month is I offer a different workshop live that I teach. They get resources. We engage with one another. There's tons of accountability. Just so many great things that's happening in the Be Free Inner Circle. And I do want to let you know that the price is going up as of February 15th. So if you've been thinking about joining our tribe, now is the perfect time to do that. It's $19.99 per month. And then as of February 15th, the price will increase to $24.99 a month. So anyone who is enrolled or becomes a member before the 15th of February, you will be grandfathered in at the $19.99 per month rate. So if you've been on the if you've been on the fence about joining, you will not be disappointed. I mean, there's so much great activity, so many great things that's happening in there. It's a great way to connect with people who are on a similar journey as you, get the positive resources and information as well as the coaching from me right in one space. So you can join by going to BeFreeInnerCircle.com. And then lastly, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends. You can do that by snapping a picture and sending them a text. You can copy the link on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your app to the podcast. And go ahead and share it out. You can also tag me on Instagram at Girl Be Free Podcast. Share it in your IG stories, whenever, wherever, Twitter, however you get down. The support is definitely appreciated. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. And I do want to leave you with the final note of just be good to yourself. I know for some people, 2019 hasn't started off the way that they wanted. Be easy, give yourself grace, and know that you have a full year and really a lifetime to do the work and begin to transform your life. And I believe in you. Until next time, girl, be free.